Kohelet chapter 1, verses 8 through 11. Kol hadvarim yigayim, lo yuchal ish ledaber, lo sispa ayin liros, lo simale ozan mishmoa. All words are weary, man cannot speak. The eye doesn't fill from to see, and the ear doesn't get full from hearing. In other words, no matter how much you try, how much effort you put in, how much you try to understand and speak and describe, you can never reach the full potential. Notice how this sentence is juxtaposed against everything that we've been speaking about before. Previously, all the verses were talking about what's out there in the world. Now we're discussing what the person is striving for, what the person is trying to do, and the effort that the person puts in. And that too is futile. There's this constant trade-off between those two sides in these verses. Now, there are also a number of plays on words in these in this verse, like there are in many, that give you a deeper understanding of what's happening here. Kol hadvarim yigayim, the word dvarim can mean both words. All words are weary, man cannot speak, and it can also be things. All things are weary. All of these things that we've been describing in the prior sentences, the water, the sun, etc., all of those are also impossible to describe. The word weary in these sentences can be both a verb and an adjective. It can be all words are tired, tiring, weary. The words themselves are weary. It's an adjective. Or it can be a verb. All words weary, all words tire out. They tire out the speaker. All words are weary, man cannot speak. The word timale and tispa, the word filling up, is also used in two different ways in these sentences. The eye doesn't fill from seeing. It can never be satisfied. It can never be satiated. So here fill is used similar to somebody who's hungry and is becoming full. But then for the ear, it says the ear does not fill up, which is a more physical timale. It doesn't fill up, which is a more physical form of filling up. The ear is a hole, of course, and the hole that's the ear doesn't fill up. And again, with the eye, it says, lo tispa ayin liros, the eye doesn't become full from to see. It always wants to see more. And the ear doesn't fill up from hearing, from the things that it's heard in the past. So there's sensory input that's come in. There's the person in the present between the sensory input that's come in the past. And no matter how much has come in, the person is always looking forward towards the future and wants additional hearing, seeing, and speaking. And yet it's never enough. Because it's always changing, there's always new things happening, you can never get through everything. And now the next verse comes and says, Masha haya hu sheyiyeh, u masha nasa hu sheyaseh, ve'en kol chadash tachas hashamesh. What was is what will be, and what was done is what will be done, and all is not new under the sun. Again, there are the things that have happened, and there are the things that the person is doing. And both of those things can never be fully described, can never reach full potential. It's never ending, and they're futile. Yesh davar sheyomar re'ezeh chadash hu, kvar haya la'olamim asher haya milfaneinu. There is a thing which says, look at this, this is new. It's already been in those ever times that have been before. Some things seem completely new. We look at them and we experience them, and the experience appears to us completely new, especially when we're younger, but even when we're older, along comes a thing every once in a while. Wow, this is a new experience. I've never felt or seen or had this before. Or I'm going to do something and accomplish something and build something that has never been done before in this exact way. Coronavirus, something new. We've never experienced something exactly like this before. And yet all of these things have happened since time immemorial, many, many times in the past. We just don't remember them. Ein zichron l'rishonim, v'gam la'acharonim sheyiyu, lo yeh lohem zikaron im sheyiyu la'acharona. There is no remembrance to the former, and also to the latter, which will be. There will be to them no memory, even with their being the latter. In other words, we don't remember all of those things in the past because they've long since passed and there's no memory to them. And that's why we think the things we're doing now are new. And even the things that will happen in the future that have not yet happened, even those will be long forgotten. Notice how he skips over the present and he goes straight from the past to the future, which is a nice little trick to emphasize that forget about the present, even the future will be long forgotten once time passes. So everything in one long continuum from the past to the future is happening over and over again. You can never get to the end of it, and yet everything's been happening again and again, and it's all futile. So this is the end of the first chapter, not the chapter the way they're divided in Tanakh, in the Bible as we have them today, but in the original division, this was the end of the first chapter, and there's a separation in the text here. And the rest of the book, this is sort of a preface, and the rest of the book will go on to elaborate and describe more fully the main concept and concepts that have been laid out until here.